Go for it. Whenever you're ready. Hit it. Oh, word. Is it not going to play the music? No theme music. You asked if I had sound, and I said no. We are back. Welcome back for your first helping of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles in this new decade, the year 2020. I am Ross Bolen here with my buddy Barrett Dudley to bring you the best TV shows and movies weekly in an easily digestible podcast packed with laughs. Happy New Year, everyone. Barrett, we made it.
That's right. We sure did. The thing is, I'm actually still living in the current decade because I have decided to take up arms and stand with the people that say we are not yet in the new decade.
Okay, this argument...
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. It's ridiculous. We're in a new decade, people.
It is a new decade.
Yeah,
a brand new decade.
I just wanted to. I wanted to give everybody out there a little flat earther scare.
Ah, well, you did
and
it.
Just make them think that I was real crazy.
Who are these people making this argument?
Well, here's the thing. There is no year zero. So
Okay.
technically, if we are going in 10-year increments since the AD time. Then 21 is the first year of a new 10-year increment because the very first year is year 1, not year 0. But the thing is, all the other pieces of the equation point to this being a new decade. We flipped 2 numbers this time, not just 1.
Right.
We are in the 20s now, not the teens.
Right.
Therefore, new decade.
I like that.
Yeah. So
that explanation covers everything for me.
So logically, and for everything to just make more sense.
Sure.
It's new decade, baby.
New decade.
And we're living in it. People are doing their top decade lists. We got top five NBA. I got all decade starting lineups on the NBA.
Yeah.
Top 10 shows of the decade, top 10 movies of the decade. Everybody's doing decade lists, so it's a new decade, baby.
I'm a little annoyed by the decade list thing.
Yeah?
Fad.
Content doesn't sleep, though, Ross.
I know, but that's the problem, is it feels very forced. We're 20 minutes into the new decade, and we're throwing out every possible list we can, judging the 2010s. That's what they're called, right?
The
2010s.
The 10s.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, I was just, when a new decade rolls around, it's a time for reflection.
Is it?
And on the way over here, I was listening to satellite radio.
Yeah.
I won't say the name of the provider. No free ads. And I heard a song by UGK called Front Back, Side to Side.
Great song.
And then I put on the T.I. version from his 2006 album, King.
Oh, yeah.
Which was basically just a remix of that song. It's called Front Back.
It's a little more jumpy.
It's a little, bops a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's weird because that song on that album, King, it's like mixed poorly. And so you have to turn it up louder than all the other songs.
That's never a good sign for your album as a whole.
So that's weird. That
was a great album.
That's a weird thing. But then I was just, he's talking about putting 26s on the car. And I was just thinking about a bygone era when rims mattered.
Yeah.
When the object of getting a car was to see how big of rims you could put on it.
And I feel like that was very amplified for us in the South.
There was a time when, we got up to 30-inch rims, I think.
It was out of control.
It was out of control.
There was no more rubber left.
There was no more. It was,
People
it was
in
a rubber
Houston
band.
just sparking down the highway.
Yeah, just nothing but chrome, baby.
It definitely was exaggerated for us in the South, but during Barrett and I's formative years in high school, this was when Houston rap was peaking, and Barrett and I were in Houston.
It was,
and we were peaking in high school, and
all the above.
Yeah, and rims were the thing.
Yeah, and I was just, and then Jay-Z came through, and he was like,
wrecked it
"No
all.
more. I'm wearing button-ups and I'm riding stock, baby."
Executive shit.
And then, but here's the thing. The impact was permanent because then all the car brands, they started putting 18, 19-inch rims, 20s
Stock.
on the premium trim level.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So now you go get a new car, and that baby's on 18s minimum almost all the time.
They're like aluminum looking, though.
Yeah, they're more matte. The
A little more
chrome is
matte,
gone.
yeah.
They're not as flashy.
Right.
Obviously, spinners was a piece of this that was just a fad.
Yeah. The best part, though, in my opinion.
But the rims, they stayed big, and that is the lasting
permanent lasting impact
of the 2000s into the 2010s.
Yeah.
And now on into 2020. Who knows what is in store
for wheels on
for
cars.
wheels on cars, and that has been
It's haunting you.
That has been my rim segment on today's episode of the podcast that we do about TV, entertainment, and film.
Now we'll always know what the 2010s were to you, Barrett. They were rims. That was it. That's what stuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, from the 2000s, that it just stuck
I'm
with
sorry,
me.
from way back. Yeah.
And then I've taken 10 years to contemplate and think on it.
And now you've shared your take.
And now I've shared my take. Yes.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first podcast of the new year, though, should be a fun one. We will be discussing the Mandalorian finale to start. Barrett and I both began watching The Witcher. So Witcher Hive, this is happening. We're starting the Witcher coverage today.
Yeah.
What began once as a joke has become a strange reality where we're watching the show and we're going to talk about it. No other takes right now. And then we have some further Joker and Cats very quick-hitting things to discuss as well. Should be good fun, so let's go. This episode of OCC is brought to you by Postmates, because winter is here. It's cold, it's dark, it's dreary out there. Why venture out when you can stay in and get whatever you need, brought to you with Postmates while you remain on the couch binging your favorite show or movie? Postmates is your personal food delivery, grocery delivery, whatever you can think of delivery service all year round. No more trips to the store. You don't even have to know where the store is. Forget about the store. Postmates will deliver anything to you. Download the app for iOS or Android for free. Browse local restaurants and businesses. Track your delivery 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Postmates will bring you what you want within the hour. I probably end up using Postmates between 3 to 5 times every single week at this point because I'm working during lunch. I don't want to have to run to go get food or a smoothie or whatever, so I'll just have it brought to me with Postmates. It's phenomenal. And for a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners in the Clam fam $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app right now. Just download Postmates. Use the code OCC, that's OCC, as in Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, for $100 free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Get anything you need anytime you need it. Download Postmates and save with the code OCC. So, Disney Plus, their big flagship rollout, The Mandalorian, their Star Wars franchise television show that they're doing here, has finished its first iteration, its first season.
8 episodes.
8 episodes. Very light, I would say, in the way of, I mean,
the stakes are low.
Yes. We began talking about it like if one of the first takes I heard was The Mandalorian is like if Star Wars had balls. And that ended up not being entirely accurate. The first couple episodes, they may have leaned into the violence and the fighting a little bit more, and it was a little bit more darker than a Star Wars film, or OG Star Wars films anyway. The newer ones are a little more, they get in there.
Yeah.
A little more anyway. But it ended up being just about on pace with the depth I would expect from each episode from a single Star Wars movie almost. In its individual bubble, if that makes sense. Like, I never stressed a single moment of this entire season almost. Like, at no point did you think Baby Yoda was going to die. Or, I'm sorry, the child.
You're definitely... That's what I'm saying. The stakes are really low.
I couldn't take out the Mandalorian.
Because you know that, like, nothing is going to happen to any of our favorite characters, really. Yeah,
well, I mean, the only two that matter really are the Mandalorian and the child.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that made it a very enjoyable watch because you're just along for the ride here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And it had that Western sort of feel to it, like sort of episodic missions almost.
There's been a lot of talk about how this is kind of an old school Western style TV show. It's kind of adventure of the week, if you will.
Yes. And
then I started thinking about it towards these last couple episodes, and I was like, even the theme song, the bow wow.
Yes.
It's telling you it's a Western.
Yes.
The music is even like
very much
Western-y.
so. But think about the scenery. Like it's straight desert almost.
Desert.
Like they go straight Western feel for most of the setting.
Indeed, yeah.
But all in all, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I
will say this. It did have some pretty aggressive fight scenes where people definitely die.
Oh, he was
I feel-
murdering the shit out of people.
I feel like even in the Star Wars movies, even when people get got, it's like,
Yo, Luke.
did they though?
Luke never like decapitates a helmetless person on screen. Like that guy didn't have a helmet on. You know what I'm saying? Like people are just getting. Oh, that was The Witcher. Actually.
Yeah, you were
Dude,
just about to
And
say.
the crazy thing is, all right. So between these two, it's some of the coolest Star Wars fighting that we've ever seen in Star Wars from The Mandalorian, and then The Witcher, which we just started, opens. I mean, we'll get to the opening scene eventually. They took the fighting shit to a whole nother level. Like it's my favorite part of the show so far on
Yeah,
The Witcher.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's
But like in this final episode of
violent.
Mandalorian,
more violent.
the armor girl, the armor Mandalorian girl,
Yes.
like she wrecks fools. She throws one into her burning fire pit. Dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, when she's on her knees there waiting for like.
yeah,
What are those guys doing? By the way, they had removed the element of like Jason Sudeikis was a stormtrooper
I
and all that.
recognized his voice almost instantly.
And they had removed the element of like, all right, the stormtroopers are so stupid that it's laughable. Because in the movies, in some of the older movies especially, they're so stupid. The
Right.
stormtroopers have the worst lines. They can't hit anything with the guns. And I felt like they were going to take that. Anyway, your scene that you brought up brought me back to that. Because they're like, hey,
Well, then they
Freeze!
I mean, in the Sudeikis scene, they're making fun of it.
yes.
They can't hit the. They're shooting at the thing
It's 6
from
feet
like
away.
6 feet away,
And then both of them just give up.
and they can't hit it. So they are making that meta commentary that like
Okay.
stormtroopers,
We're just trash guys. Just
are-
random dudes in suits. Yeah.
that can't do anything.
Basic soldiers.
Yes.
The basic white stormtrooper,
Is-
worst soldier in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Now, if you get some color in there,
yes, you have to either have a black
Or an-
stormtrooper
or an all
outfit,
red.
or one with some red war paint on it.
fucking the flamethrower chick or dude, whatever, either or, had like some detail,
Yeah,
but
right.
it wasn't full red, right?
No, it was just like red, like war. That's why I called it war paint.
Okay, yeah, that was cool.
That was-
like an indicator, like I'm
Exactly.
coming in
Yeah,
and I've got fire.
I'm very good with fire. That is, you can see this red, these red stripes.
Yes.
These details.
Snipe me from afar if you can. I'm coming with a
on
flamethrower.
my uniform. Therefore, you know I have a big badass flamethrower and I know how to use it.
Yeah, didn't work out.
No.
In the case of the flamethrower person, little baby Yoda,
He
was
does
not-
He does the hands thing.
He did the hands thing, and I love that they made. Dude, it was good at making fun of itself.
It
man.
was self-aware. It had some meta commentary, and
Everyone survived. Did everyone survive? Carl
Queel.
Weathers survived.
Queel,
Ah, bummer.
our boy Nick Nolte.
He was lovable.
Yeah.
The lovable Nick
Old
Nolte.
Queel,
Yeah.
I have spoken.
I have spoken. God, what else? What'd you think of our villain, our big bad, and the way that all ends?
Yeah.
First of all,
yeah.
the way Mando takes him down out of the ship,
It's
or takes the ship down,
pretty
rather.
sweet, pretty sweet. Giancarlo Esposito.
Uh-huh.
Shouts to Gus Fring. He's a great baddie.
I liked it. It was like the Star Wars thing because the main bad guys are always very intimidating, very badass, but everyone that works for them is a moron.
Right.
And they can never really accomplish anything as a result. And this guy comes out with this incredible speech. I mean, he's like, we're loading up the cannon. Y'all are toast. You got a few more minutes. Fucking come surrender. And then he starts walking away, and you're like, well, what an idiot.
Yeah.
It's the James Bond villain thing. We're going to leave you in this room, Mr. Bond. We'll be back in an hour and a half
I think I
to murder
I
you.
think I laughed out loud when he was giving them the big speech and they're setting up the cannon and it's broad daylight.
Yes.
It's like at most it's 3 p.m., right? Like that's the latest it is. And he's like, the cannon is set up. And I thought he was going to be like, you have 60 seconds to decide or we're going to kill all of you.
Or
And
10.
he's like, you have until nightfall. How about nightfall?
Nightfall.
That's like a nice solid 4 or 5 hours. Gives you plenty of time to think, make some plans in there.
Consider all the angles. Maybe escape if you'd like. Whatever you think is best for you. We're going to give you the time to do it.
Yeah, that was a bad choice to give them until nightfall.
So, but other than that, so finally he comes in at the end and he's like, I guess I'll try to shoot you in my spaceship since you've destroyed. The hero of the entire season, by the way, ends up being the nurse droid.
Nurse droid.
Nurse Droid MVP by not even like what the episode opens with Nurse Droid getting back little baby Yoda because it has its nurse function, and if anything threatens this child it's supposed to be caring for, it kicks ass.
Yeah.
And then in the end it blows up. It self-destructs
Self-destruct
to take out like 40 stormtroopers, so that Esposito has to come in and then handle things himself, and he doesn't do a great job either.
No,
but nobody dies except all the stormtroopers and the nurse droid.
It's okay. It's fine though, because one of the things that this show is doing is it is just I am willingly let it tap in to my pleasure sensors, and every time it puts Baby Yoda on the screen and just lets it coo, I melt, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch every single episode of the show, as long as this tiny little green puppy dog thing is making sad eyes on my television screen.
It's kind of amazing that they got through an entire season, and really the only plot was like, will we keep Baby Yoda safe? And then the answer was yes. So that's it. We don't know anything else about him. We learned nothing about his race, really. We know he can do the Force. But it makes him real seepy.
And we took like 8 episodes basically to set up the rest of the seasons, which are that Mando is daddy now.
Yes.
And he has to raise this child or find its people.
Have you considered the gravity of how crazy they can get with this if they want to? Like, they have it at the simplest Western, episodic, fucking lightest watch possible level right now.
Right.
Okay, but think about down the road. How intense this can get if they wanted to.
They're not going to get intense with this.
You don't think they will?
No.
You think they keep it at this level of sort of very enjoyable, light Star Wars history type of shit? Because they could go like full blown, like Yoda revives the Force and the Empire comes all the way back, and they could go fucking psycho. Like
here's another thing to consider. Have you seen the new movie, by the way?
No.
Okay. Well, the movie takes. I'm not going to really spoil anything here for you.
Oh, I'm not that worried about it. But if you were,
but the movie takes a minute towards the end. Like it devotes a solid 60 seconds of screen time to these two characters.
Okay.
To do what is called a backdoor pilot. And the only point of this exchange is to be like, get ready for the two of us on a Disney Plus series, huh? How about that? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, fuck me.
So I think there's also been talks about all these directors out there that are tied to some type of Star Wars project, whether it's Rian Johnson or Colin Trevorrow or J.J. Abrams or whoever else is in the mix for these things. Benioff and Weiss at one point, no longer. Nobody knows what they're going to do. If they're going to get a spin-off movie, if they're going to get a trilogy, if they're going to get a Disney Plus show. So I think the question becomes, how many Star Wars shows do you put out there at one time?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you want 8 of these things.
No, let's be careful here. Let's not Avengers are.
So if they're trying to kind of overlap so that there's always maybe 2 or 3 of these things going.
God almighty. That's a lot, dude.
Then maybe they... what I'm getting to here is, how many seasons do you think they intend for The Mandalorian to go? Because it could theoretically run for 12 if they wanted it to.
I mean, that's where it's interesting to me. I feel like if you keep it as light as it is, why not roll for as long as you can?
But then you're going to have all these other shows that they're trying to make stacking up with it, which just kind of dilutes the entire brand and makes each of them less enjoyable because of diminishing returns.
Perhaps, for
sure.
So it's
like maybe they think this is their first one. They're going to pack this thing into 4 or 5 seasons, and after this first setup season, we'll get a little bit more story arc with finding out about Baby Yoda's race, with finding out how he's connected to real Yoda, where he comes from, all that good stuff.
What's Esposito going to be doing? What the fuck's the Empire up to? Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I get that. We're already renewed for season 2 or whatever, I believe, right? Or at least is that even the thing they're going to be doing? Do they have to renew themselves? Don't they just own it? What is that?
Yeah, and also this show has like reached a saturation point where I'm pretty sure it just has as long of a leash as it wants.
Just whatever with the Baby Yoda.
John Favreau is just out over there at Disney, just with a money machine, just printing cash right now.
I still struggle to put him into like the hierarchy of Hollywood.
Oh, he is way high up there at this point.
I know, but is he the tippy top now, or is it like there's 4 levels above him still? Because he's fucking killing everything.
Outside of studio heads,
he's as high as you can get. Basically.
He's as high as you can get. Yes.
Because how many goddamn projects has he pumped? Think about the last decade. Like all of a sudden, just every fucking thing was Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Iron Man came out. It was Jon Favreau. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's very confusing. But he's done a fantastic job. Obviously, he keeps getting handed the keys to more stuff. So, what do you know? What the critical reception has been like for The Mandalorian?
Yes, it has been overall solid with some people posing the same questions that we have about, like, are you really just not going to tell us anything? Like, is this going, like, basically the main critique has been
The lack of depth.
is this
to
just
it.
a weekly adventure Western?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we need, or should we be invested in who is the Mandalorian? Who is Baby Yoda? Like,
Right.
where do these people come from? What's their story? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Before we miss it all together, because that would be horrible, we get Pedro's helmet off.
Mhm.
The helm comes off. We find a loophole. Also, again, MVP of the episode, Nurse Droid finds a loophole.
He does, yeah.
I am not a
Thank
living
you.
thing.
Thank you, Nurse Droid.
And we get the helmet off. I've had people tell me they like that they finally got the helmet off. I've had people say they hated it. We got that far. We should have fucking left the helmet on. Why did we take the helmet off? I don't really care personally. I liked it for Pedro's sake. I feel like you got to give the man a couple seconds.
Yeah, it was.
Also, he was going to die.
I don't know how to feel about it because I'm just kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like they threw in the loophole for him to take off the helm whenever he wants to.
Right.
So it's not like we're going to be getting a lot of Pedro Pascal
No, we are not.
in season 2.
No, I would imagine it'll be this.
They found one loophole to get it off of him for like 5 seconds.
Right.
And that was it. So it's like it was a taste, wasn't really enough. Was it good for Pedro? Sure. Glad we got to see that.
Yeah,
that
but
dude's
should
face.
you do it if it's not powerful?
But if-
Maybe not.
Right, but like
It definitely wasn't powerful. I didn't find myself like, oh shit,
I was not
they're
either.
doing it.
yeah, no.
Like, we already know who it is. We've
Yeah.
already talked about the damn thing for 8 weeks. You know what I mean? It's just like felt like it was a
Yes.
spoiled reveal at that point. But all in all, on Rotten Tomatoes, for example, 94% tomato meter, 93% audience score.
Yes.
It I'll say for me, for my taste, it feels like we're almost like just giving this all of the W's. Like, we're just like, yep, fuck it. Everybody loves The Mandalorian, and there's nothing to complain about. And we all like 94 and 93.
That-
like,
yes.
come on, man. It's a fucking. One of the best things about the show is a little green puppet baby alien that doesn't speak.
Look, we've got there's
Not
this,
the baby.
you know, in the wave of television, right? 90s gave us these incredibly rewatchable sitcoms with laugh tracks and a live studio audience that you can put on and just use as background noise,
Yes.
right? Friends, Seinfeld, and then a little bit further into the 2000s, we got The Office and Parks and Rec, and like these just like long-running shows. Even before that, stuff like Cheers, Mary Tyler Moore, like whatever. You had these very light half-hour shows that were inconsequential.
Take
that
you out of
weren't-
your life for a few
yeah,
minutes.
that weren't trying to do too much. You didn't have to sit there and like pay very close attention.
Write
to
down
everything that
character
was
names
happening
and shit.
and put on subtitles like you do with The Witcher.
Yeah.
And then we went into peak TV, right? And it's
Yes.
it's very serious, and it's the age of the anti-hero, and it's the golden age, and we're very serious, and all of this TV means something, and it's 4 or 5 seasons, and it's hour-long
Now
dramas.
it's art, Barrett. It's art now.
And we've been inundated with so much of that because everybody is doing it, from HBO to Showtime to every single streaming service. Everybody is putting out their big tentpole award-winning show.
Yes.
That it's like, I feel like the critical reception to this show has been so positive because it's like finally something that doesn't matter and isn't trying to be serious
And didn't try too hard.
and didn't try too hard to be fun and silly and not all that meaningful.
Yeah. No, I'm
and,
with
and
that.
gave us just I mean, for my money, the cutest thing that I have ever seen in my entire life.
I'm with Baby Yoda being very cute, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have 2 very cute dogs that I look at all day that I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm used to cute shit. Like, I'm not taking him over the dogs. I'm just not. But he is very, very cute.
Okay, I'll put another qualifier on that.
Okay.
It's the cutest like screen thing I've ever seen.
Sure.
Outside of real live puppies and dogs.
What? I guess we have no idea. Like, dude, I'm in awe of how little they had to do for this
Yeah.
season to be
Yeah.
accomplished. Combined with the reviews, I mean, I'm just like, I keep wanting to ask questions like, how far are we going to go with like Baby Yoda? Like what him obviously learning more about his powers and eventually hopefully being able to fucking communicate with someone in some
but
way.
that's the other thing. He's already 50 years old.
Yeah,
so,
but in
so it's
Yoda
like,
years.
right, but so how many years would have to go by until the child is the teenager? Do you know what I mean?
Like 3. That's a very good point. Yeah.
So, and we don't want that. We don't want him to be the teenager.
We've
we
seen
want him
old
to be
Yoda. He's not hot or fun.
but he's at least wise and like, legendary.
He's squirrely.
Guy's squirrely.
The guy comes off as a potential pedo.
But give me one or the other, right? I don't want to see middle-aged Yoda or teenage Yoda.
Middling Yoda. Yeah, nobody wants quarter-life crisis Yoda.
No,
that
no.
Yoda sucks.
Yeah.
Or teen Yoda. Yeah, the angry Yoda that just he can't stop fucking like throwing stuff across the galaxy
Right.
with his mind.
What's Paul Rudd's character's name in Forgetting Sarah Marshall? Piku?
Nobody
Kipo?
knows. Nobody knows that guy.
Kopu?
How are you even close? Yeah, it's
Poku?
some stupid shit like that.
Something like that. That's what this show did. They didn't do too much.
Yeah.
I got to do a little bit more than that. Do more
When
than
he's
that.
teaching this idiot to surf.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great cameo from Paul Rudd. It's actually a very, very bad cameo that somehow worked. Like, it's a horrible part of the movie that all of a sudden Paul Rudd is there giving like really goofy, not really invested surf lessons. I don't know why, but it's hilarious and also very bad. By the way, I love that movie, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, fantastic.
One of my favorite movies. Threw it on in the background on the stream the other day. All right, live broadcasting on Twitch or whatever, playing video games for the kids. Forgot the opening scene is essentially him taking his dick out. Totally forgot. Kids on the stream and shit, man. Man penis in the background. Can't have that happening. Anyway, just a warning for those of y'all who maybe decide to watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall tonight as a result of us talking about it. Jason Segel, his penis, he reveals it at the beginning. One of the first male genitalia that I ever saw in a movie theater, if not the first.
He is
Big step for Hollywood.
Paul Rudd is listed in Forgetting Sarah Marshall as his name being Chuck, but that is not right. Doesn't he say his name is
I think he does end up saying like his name is something stupid like
in Hawaiian?
Chuck. Well, he says he doesn't have a watch anymore. He doesn't even have a watch, right? Doesn't he say that?
Kunu.
Kunu.
That's it. Kunu.
What a ridiculous character that was. Budget at $30 million, made 105 in the box office. Good stuff. All right. Did Star Wars fans get upset by The Mandalorian? Apparently not.
No, they
so
did.
everybody's
no, they did
happy?
Not. That's because Star Wars fans
They're too busy.
Well, they just want the most. We got what they wanted in this most recent movie, and it's just the most basic nostalgia-inducing, color by numbers.
You already saw it though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to get in there. There's a few things I need to get in there for at this point.
Yeah.
The movie.
It's
theater.
fine. The movie's fine. It's just not interesting.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge of that. But The Mandalorian season 1, Barrett, to put a cap on it, you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
We both had fun.
And
we didn't have to think too hard.
because one of the main characters is a puppet, the other doesn't have to be there to shoot, unless there's a scene where they take his helmet off for 5 seconds, and they can probably just use the digital stuff and reanimate his face onto a crash test dummies one anyway. And Carl Weathers definitely doesn't have anything else going on. They should be able to just crank out the next season of this.
Is this the smartest piece of television that's ever been created in terms of production and in terms of what they're getting back for it?
I mean, in the last many years, this is the smartest thing that anybody's ever done.
I mean, because a few episodes in, you start to see the formula and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're going to make $1 billion forever. Like, this is, the guy doesn't even have to fucking be there. This is genius. And we talked about that scene earlier in the season where he jumps down into the ship, and I was like, that was not Pedro Pascal right now. And I'm very curious. In fact, I almost guarantee it was. I almost guarantee it was, just because I'm so sure it wasn't. I guarantee they
You
show
think
like a
that
behind
time
the scenes.
was Pedro?
They're like, yeah, so we had Pedro jump down in the ship here and actually told the stuntman to go home that day. Fucking
By the way,
Disney.
quick aside, do you know that Pedro Pascal has like either a running character arc or he is a character in one of the Kingsman movies, maybe multiple?
No, but I've never seen any of
I gotta
those.
see those. People say they're really good, like fun action movies.
Those
like
are the movies
John Wick style.
where everyone has a cane that they can use as a gun, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
I feel like that's the plot.
He's in one of those. I got to see those.
Old white
I
guys
think he
with
wears a cowboy hat.
cane guns. Big fan of canes. My grandpa used to have all these canes by the door. He never used a cane. I don't know why the fuck he had them. Collection of canes. And one of them had a duck head on it. Anyway, I liked The Mandalorian and a good cane.
Enough said.
This episode of OCC is also brought to you by Felix Gray. You may not realize it, but the average American blasts their eyes with bright screens for 11 hours every day. And when you consider how much your life revolves around your phone, your computer, your television, all the different devices that we have, that might not seem so crazy, right? Like I'm legitimately staring at my phone or my computer, my laptop, my TV for every waking hour of my life at this point. The fact is, we cannot eliminate extensive screen time from our lives, but we can protect our eyes from it with a pair of Felix Gray blue light filtering glasses available in both non-prescription and prescription. The majority of Americans live with tired, dry eyes, blurry vision, or headaches caused by screens. And if this sounds familiar, Felix Gray glasses are for you. They filter out 90% of high-energy blue light and eliminate 99% of glare coming from your daily barrage of screens. Unlike other blue light filtering glasses, they actually use proprietary blue light technology embedded into the lens, as opposed to the cheap coating that can easily chip or scratch over time that some of their competition uses. Felix Gray is on a mission to make fashionable, high-quality blue light protection widely accessible by offering a variety of frames for all face shapes and style preferences. I have the Faraday frames in black. I wear them pretty much every night when I'm getting in bed to watch a little bit of a movie or a TV show with the dogs before I go to sleep. My eyes are tired at that point, man. Sometimes when I'm gaming, I'll throw them on as well because my eyes are tired in the evening after I've had my contacts in all day staring at screens. And the second that I put these things on, I can feel the relief. They actually do an incredible job with glare off of computer screens as well, if you're into gaming or just love watching TV and movies like we do. But don't go another day looking at screens without the help of some Felix Grays. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/OCC for free shipping and 30 days of risk-free returns or exchanges. That's felixgrayglasses.com/OCC. FELIXGRAY glasses.com/OCC. Barrett, let's talk about The Witcher. The Hive is excited. It's buzzing.
Oh, yeah, it's buzzing.
Bees. I actually passed out before I finished episode 2 last night.
Okay.
But I'm actually okay with us discussing it in its entirety if you'd like to. But let's get pilot first.
I don't really. I mean, we can.
We don't have to go specifics.
We can if we want to. But I really want to talk about the show since
what's our setup? That's what we want to do here, right?
Sure.
What's our setup? What's going on? What do we know about this Witcher situation? For Barrett and I, our familiarity began with it. What was that? Probably
6 months ago.
In the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We found out. Okay, Netflix
so
is doing it.
We are Witcher virgins.
Yes. Not book readers. Not video game players.
Gamers. No.
Neither.
We know nothing.
We're going
about Geralt of
or
Rivia.
Roach
or Roach.
Info free.
Yes.
So the first time we
Yennefer.
see, yes, we don't know shit about any of these people, Barrett and I. And
Renfrey.
We had heard, I love that name for some reason, Renfrey.
Yeah.
We had heard, obviously, that this was coming, that it was going to be a big budget.
Oh, yeah.
This is essentially them going for their Game of Thrones, is what people were saying, right?
Yep.
And the first reaction was, well, good luck. Everything based on a video game ever, for the most part, with a very few exceptions, has been terrible shit. And it just, I don't think The Witcher as a franchise in America is as recognizable as people wanted to pretend it was, as Witcher fans want to pretend it is.
I don't think so either, but having said that, I was shocked at how many people, at how many people came out of this hive getting themselves named the Witcher Hive by us here at Oysters, Clams, and Cockles /Oystar Clam Co.
It's weird. We're the bubble. We're the weirdos who didn't know about this shit. Maybe everybody else does or something.
Yeah, I mean, and I realize that our show, kind of is interesting to people that are into this type of thing, that are into shows and books and TV and entertainment and all that type of stuff. So it's not
the best, Jerry, the best.
It's not crazy that a lot of our listeners were already kind of invested in this series, but it was certainly off of my radar.
It's not something I would have...
And again, I'm a little surprised it was off your radar in particular because the video game is apparently so popular.
Which is another aspect of it that's weird to me. I don't know a single person... Now I do because I play video games with all these fucking gamers, but from real life, I don't know a single person who's ever played or mentioned The Witcher to me, and that includes nerdy college roommates that I didn't sign up for.
So I guess it's like low-key popular. It's like it's not up on the surface, but there's a very big following for it.
Apparently,
there's
yes,
on the
massive
on the Witcher scene.
No, it's a cult following that has broken through into the mainstream of cult followings. Whatever the fuck that means.
Hey, you know what? For me, much like Game of Thrones, I'd never heard of A Song of Ice and Fire before Game of Thrones came out.
Damn,
yet
see?
it
You could
was
see how if you were sitting at a fucking table in Netflix and they could start to convince you of this
Yeah.
shit too.
and a lot of people were reading those books.
And honestly, it's one of the things that it has going for it right now is that I remember what I felt like after the first few episodes of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was like, I'm into this. I'm excited. I have no fucking clue who too many of these people are or any clue what's going on yet, but I could feel like it had me. It grips into you. And The Witcher has, all right, first of all, the opening scene of the entire series, they chose to do a fight, which is not unusual considering the advances they were able to make in fighting technology for this show or whoever they hired to do the choreographing or whatever the CGI is, because it was dope as fuck. That, in my opinion, that I loved the monster fight to start the series because it set the bar for the violence, for the fight scenes. They're going to need to be incredible. You're going to need to have badass monsters if there's monsters. And then it took it away. You know what I mean? Like, you go from that fight to like 40 minutes of talking.
Yeah, it was all good,
and then there's more fighting.
I agree that the fighting is very strong here. And one of the things that we talked about on our Patreon episode is about how early reports were that some of the fight scenes were like putting Game of Thrones to shame from like a violence level. And we got that in the first 2 episodes as well. Like this takes in a surprising way, this takes like the medieval style, like whole towns getting raped thing.
Yeah, dude.
To an elevated height.
You're not really playing there at all.
When our crazies from Nilfgaarden attack Sintra,
the Nilfgaard dudes are fucking crazy.
Like they are reaping and raving and murdering everybody in a way that Game of Thrones kind of touched on, but like didn't go all the way there. Really,
I mean, only
a lot
when
of the time.
Spoiler alert: if you didn't watch Game of Thrones, she gets very angry and she burns everything. And no, not until that point had we ever gotten something like that in Thrones.
So that was pretty crazy. And then a lot of the close quarters combat. Obviously, I think that they've taken a lot of cues from video games because it feels like a video game to me. It's tight,
that's
but it
what's
feels
cool about
video
it.
game-ish,
Yeah, no, there's moves, right? Like he's like executing like a rip through this dude's face with a sword. Like there was gnarly shit that goes down. You brought up the Nilfgaard situation, so we're thrown into that kingdom that gets absolutely wrecked by Nilfgaard, and it's our secondary story, I'll call it. Okay, we've got Geralt and his horse Roach. Geralt is essentially a wandering mercenary, neither hero nor villain,
nor human,
or an affected human, perhaps. I don't really know. He keeps yelling, him and Nefarious. What's her name? Milf Hunter. What's the earlier?
Milf?
Renfrey.
Milf Hunter?
No, sorry. They keep
Milf Hunter.
She says something like, they created you just like they created me. And I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So maybe he's human that it was turned. It almost reminded me of like a Cold Hands kind of situation.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, that's fair.
Or Uncle Bingen, whatever, book readers versus TV watchers. But this dude's just trying to get paid. He's out there trying to make money. He's a dude.
Yeah.
This is his job. He witches.
He's out there for the coin,
witcher.
baby.
Yeah, he wants some coin.
He's just out there for the coin.
And then as Cole's one of the dudes I play with video games with anyway, who's really into this and did play the video game, said it's the constant pain in the ass for him is that it's always somebody being like, I've got a mission for you and some coin. And then after he does the mission, he's like, can I get that coin? And they're like, I don't have it, haha, and like run off. Like he's never getting paid. He's always like, it's almost a little bit, and you've finished episode 2, whereas I have not. Do you get the feeling it's a little bit episodic in the Mandalorian way, where it's like adventure, adventure, adventure?
Yeah, so episode 2 definitely kind of gives you that vibe that like that on this track, wherever it's taking
bigger
us,
mission, girl in the forest, right?
There are going to be some smaller missions.
Yeah.
At the same time, that one in episode 2 does kind of like give you some of the backstory as well.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe in this early going, they're going to use those to kind of like set the world up for you.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll roll, because the way it's been explained to me anyway, essentially in the books and the video games, that's sort of how it works.
Okay.
And that, like, for instance, because that question I was asking Coles is the wizard from episode 1 is like this really cool character, right? I mean, he's clearly a bad guy.
Who is shockingly taller than Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, he's very.
I mean, I did look it up. Henry Cavill's 6'1", so he's not like a towering dude. He's actually 6'1".
I say Cavill. You say Cavill.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Well, you do yours and I'll do mine.
6'1", perfect height.
Okay.
That dude, the nefarious sorcerer, taller.
Yeah, big dude.
Big dude.
But probably not going to be seen again, as it's been explained to me.
We see him in episode 2 at some point.
Do we?
Yeah.
Maybe I just whiffed on that somehow. Huh. Well, point being,
I think he's going to be around. I think he's going to be around.
Okay. So
at
like
least for a little while.
He was one where I was like, that guy was so good. It would be kind of a bummer to me to not utilize him as a villain throughout.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm glad that that's the case because I was a little worried at that point when it was being explained to me that maybe we would just be basically pumping and dumping, like bringing in cool cameo badass actors and like having them be a character for an episode, but then they're gone.
No, I think that's going to stick around because I have a feeling that the story that he tells about all the girls born under the whatever
the Black Sun
or Black Sun.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a storyline of the show.
It certainly seems to apply to our, I guess now queen. I don't know what princess that ran away from the place that got rocked by Nilfgaard. Only name I can remember at this point is Nilfgaard.
Nilfgaard.
And I was very interested in the way they set that up.
Yeah.
Because it was super Game of Thronesy. I mean, they leaned into, you had the overly done hair. He was just a brunette, a dark-haired man instead of Jaime Lannister. But he had really overdone hair. He has the worst line in maybe television history where he yells out, "We're losing!" in the middle of the battle. The king just goes, "We're losing!" What the fuck, dude? And then he takes an arrow to like the forehead.
Yeah.
Anyway, they set up that whole kingdom, right? They set that. I mean, they give us very big views of this incredible castle and all these buildings, and then they roll Nilfgaard in and burn the whole motherfucker down.
Yeah.
By the end of the first episode, which is just sort of like, that was one of the things that worked for me. It put weight behind the story of like, I don't listen the cheesy shit like the girl in the woods is your destiny. I don't like that we're having Renfrey, a character that he's killing, is telling him that. Like, I don't know how that's supposed to make sense to me. But
I mean, one of the things that I liked in episode 1 was that they, if you're paying attention, they very clearly tell you in so many words that we have 2 timelines going on so far.
What?
Yeah.
What timelines would those be?
So Nilfgaard,
okay,
future.
What?
Or present, and Renfrey, past.
Oh, that makes sense though.
Because Ciri, young blonde girl, is talking to her grandmother Sintra? No, Kalanchi, something like that.
C word.
The C word. I'm just gonna call her Kalanchi. That's definitely not it. Sorry, Witcher Hive, but I'm gonna botch this one.
We could do the Arrested Development right now. We're not going to. I'm just saying we could if we wanted to.
We're two Witchers in. And they threw a lot of names out at us.
Whew.
So it's gonna take us a minute here to get everything. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be a few.
So she's sitting there at the dinner at the feast talking to her grandmother, and she's like, "I'm ready. Like, you won your first battle
when you were a kid."
And she names the battle. She's like, "Over there at Lake Beauregard," or whatever it was. And then we get Renfrey and Witcher in the forest, and she says Kavanchi just won her first battle at Lake Beauregard.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
So we know that is...
I missed that shit, too.
That's like 30, 40 years apart.
That makes it way better, now that I know that.
So there are... Yeah. So Geralt kind of like going on about his daily life, getting coins to drop the loins, and...
That makes... Okay, wow.
And then Girl in the Forest. Those are two timelines right now.
Gotcha.
Which will inevitably meet at some point.
We find out when they'll meet at some point in season 1. I'm imagining probably towards the end.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
And we don't know where Yennefer fits into all of this, but I think we're probably going to get more of a sense of that in episode 3 by the looks of the.
Okay, so
the
through
screen
2,
grab.
Where's your excitement level versus like your anticipation going in?
So
mine's high, admittedly, but I'm like 1.25 in.
I'm having I'm having a lot of fun watching this show. It's got some CW vibes to it.
Does it?
Yeah,
That's not a good thing to say.
You ever put on a show from CW or like sit down and watch an hour of like Vampire Diaries or?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You know,
I have for sure. I actually sat next to the Vampire Diaries guy with the really handsome one with long hair who got in trouble recently.
Oh yeah, Jared Padalecki.
I sat next to that dude at a restaurant in Austin at one point.
Yeah. Just the way that it's lit, some of the scenery.
It's they try to make it look all magical and shiny and sparkly, though, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that part of the deal? It's like a Twilight thing.
Yeah, but I'm just. Here's another overarching thing that I just want to like put on top of everything that I'm saying about The Witcher.
Okay.
The next show that is as big or as close to as big as Game of Thrones will not be fantasy genre.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because Game of Thrones is going to hang over every single one of these. Whether it will even hang over the Lord of the Rings television reboot.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that
because
either.
we're always going to compare.
But Barrett, it's like the thing you and I in our prior career, we always used to talk about. Barrett and I worked for a publication where people would try to go viral, okay? And we used to joke about how you can't force something like that. It's not. If I write a column and it's about sports. This is a stupid example, but like, okay, whatever. Goats. Let's say I write a column about goats, the different types of goats, and it goes crazy. And then everybody's like, oh, well, shit, I got to write columns about goats now. Everybody loved that goat column. We got to do goats, more goats. Bring in the fucking goats. And everybody's doing that right now for Thrones reasons. Like, okay, let's get medieval. We'll all try to replicate. And like, you're not going to be able to force that vibe again. It's a thing that either hits or it doesn't. Even George R. R. Martin wrote the goddamn thing to not be able to be turned into a TV show, and then it happened.
And just for comparison's sake, I think what made Game of Thrones so compelling is that it was really a family drama couched in like this medieval fantasy genre.
And it was breaking TV rules that we had not seen broken before. They killed the main character at the end of season 1.
Yes.
I mean, that was fucking mind-blowing.
And just to make
at the time.
Just to make one more comparison, this show right after, well, not only does it lead with its battle with a spider insect thing that has like a deformed baby head attached to it.
Dude, that thing was tight.
But like right off the bat, it's like this is high fantasy. This is creatures and monsters and magic,
inexplicable wizard shit,
chaos and wizards and sorcerers and witchers and like the
black
whole
sons
shebang.
and daughters being born under it and shit. And then lots
so,
of little girls being
so
executed
like,
because of this.
So to its credit, it's leaning way more into that. Whereas Thrones opens with some creepy White Walkers and we don't know anything about them.
It was such a tease.
But then it's like all about the family dynamics and like the family infighting and the
sword on sword battle, not like magic
battle,
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
At the same time, like the very next scene that we get in The Witcher is, I think, the bar scene where he walks in. And again, and this is not to their credit, but they just leaned into like this trope of like bad cool guy walks into a bar and another guy says, I don't like you.
Yeah.
And then somebody else says, well, I'm in control of you and I'm going to tell you to sit down. Drinks are on me, tough guy.
Yeah, but this is dude,
like,
what you just did is, here's why this is to their credit. It's just not to your liking. That's perfect video game dialogue and vibes, and like him walking into that, they went too hard at the video game thing.
But the video game's based on the book.
Yes, but it gives you that feeling of like, it's like silly, but it's fantastical. It's like they crush this in Lord of the Rings. Any scene in a bar or in the inns or the taverns in Lord of the Rings, they accomplish what they were trying to accomplish with that scene in The Witcher. It's just like it's this tone-setting thing, but they've used too many video game elements or something. Because the CW feel you're speaking to absolutely hit me as well, but then I started to like feel it as it was meant to be felt, like a video game type of vibe.
Yeah.
And I sort of see what they were going for.
Well, and again, like this is going to be, I'm definitely going to do this for the first couple of times that we talk about it, and then hopefully it'll start to fade.
But I just grow on you, yeah.
I compare that to the Hound walking into a bar and completely subverting all that. The Hound just wants to eat some fucking chicken, man.
Right.
And when the tough guy says, hey, I don't like you, he brutally murders everybody in the bar.
after being very annoyed that he has to do that.
Like that. Your classic like heroics and somebody calms everybody down and then everybody's drinking beers even as they're resentfully like eyeing each other from across the tavern.
Right.
Like none of that shit. Like it's just weird. It's like they just did different stuff with it that was just more realistic.
Well, because so often you should ask yourself, like, I mean, as a storyteller, you got to go like, all right, what would everybody else want to happen here? And then you do something else. And Game of Thrones did that so many different times with, look, I'm not going to go down the list of spoilers. It doesn't matter. But that's, I don't know if they're going to be able to get to that.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to. And so now to start praising the show a little bit, like, I'm okay with its CW-ness because it has more. It's pretty funny sometimes.
Good. There's a good amount of humor. Yes.
And like it is more of a fantasy show. There is more magic and there is more sorcery and witchering and all that type of stuff. And I'm also happy because it knows that and isn't really trying to be too Game of Thronesy. In the second episode, did you get to the bard yet?
Maybe.
He was singing in another tavern?
No.
There's a dude singing in a tavern, and he is not singing any type of like medieval sounding song. He is strumming a lute, and it sounds like Fall Out Boy. He goes on to write a song for The Witcher, which could be like a pop hit on the radio, basically. Only instead of a guitar, he's playing a lute.
Okay, but did
and
it work?
It's really funny.
Okay.
Yes. And so that's the type of thing that like, so that makes you feel much better about the show's kind of like cheesiness.
Right.
Is that this show is going to be kind of, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's kind of a show that's like good because it's kind of bad.
It feels like it's fucking with elements there though that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
I think the element that made you think CW is literally like that they have made it look like Twilighty because they're trying to get that magical feel to some of the scenes and shit. Like when Renfrey and him are in the forest before they hook up and like, I mean, there's like, it's almost, you're like, are there fireflies flying around or like what's going on here? It's just a weird aura, right? Mm-hmm. And I think all that sort of comes together and adds up and just makes it a little funky. But you're deeper than I am too. But again, I'm also a lot more used to video games than you too. So that like sort of element of it is really enjoyable for me so far. And I'm interested to see if they lean more into it or they pull back. I think they will pull back. And I remember in Game of Thrones in season 1 being like, there were people who complained about the fantasy elements. They didn't like that it was because fantasy things were being thrown out but never explained or shown in the first season. So it was all in the background, the White Walkers and the Grumpkins and Snarks or whatever beyond the wall and all the talk of the wall and north of the wall. But you never saw any of that shit. It was just set up, whereas we're meeting wizards. We're doing wizard towers with naked chicks everywhere in them in episode 1 of this thing. Like they're jumping deep into the magic. And I'm thinking they will pull it back. That it's because Game of Thrones felt that way too. You felt like you were going to get swept into this world where it was all fantasy, all hardcore magic, and then they pulled it back and did family and swords.
I think it's going
like
the other way.
You think it'll go all fantasy?
I think it's going pretty heavy fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool though. If they can pull it off,
which is fine. Like I am ready to go home and keep watching The Witcher. Like do not get me wrong here. It's a fun show, and I am into the story. Henry Cavill, God bless his hot ass.
Oh my God!
Like
the man is good looking.
He is very, I could just watch him for 8 hours straight. It's fine.
And he's really good at going like.
Yeah. The Batman voice. What do you think about that?
He needs to like.
That's another thing that I feel like they pulled. I feel like they pulled from the video game.
All that shit, dude, with the horse and all that shit's video game. That's all video game.
His voice, even almost. I'm almost not even sure that that's just him doing that. It's
almost
almost like it has like a little filter on it.
I could see that. Well, I mean, his face isn't just him either. If we're gonna talk about how fucking good looking he is, he's got magical CGI elements to his face in some scenes and shit. You know?
Yeah.
Not to say that the man isn't.
I mean, he
magnificently
glows,
good-looking.
you know.
No.
You know.
Hey, look, I watched whatever the one with the. God, why can't I never remember the name of this show? Not the Royals.
Tutors.
The Tutors, thank you, with him in it back in the day, and he killed that role.
Yeah.
And like from that point, I was like, this dude is gonna be huge. He's just eventually, and then he got cast as obviously Superman.
Yeah.
We had the mustache gaff, very expensive mustache
Yeah.
gaff.
Yeah.
Now he's got his Netflix show. He's Geralt
He's Geralt of Rivia. Yes.
with a guy
The
who
Butcher of Blaviken.
horse named Roach. Cool names in this Blaviken. It's very there's like Viking elements to a lot of this shit. What else about The Witcher?
Yennefer, the crooked girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to get hot.
I heard that.
Yep.
One of the guys on the stream told me.
But I think that her crooked face, I found it endearing, personally. Is she all episode 2?
The crooked nature of her crooked face endearing?
Well, just her whole aura and personality.
I love that they brought that character, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The way it was introduced too.
But so that's going to be exciting to see what happens there.
You know what I think probably happened? I think I saw the first like 10 minutes, fell asleep, and
Purple
woke up
eyes
like
on that one, yellow on The Witcher.
the eye color thing. Did not notice his yellow. Her purple struck me though. I was like, God damn, those are very purple eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Very. How many is okay? The little girl where you are in episode 2.
Ciri, yeah.
Ciri? What
Sirbilla.
is she gonna is she just running through the woods still, or what's the deal? Where are we at?
Yeah, she gets help from another character
Okay.
called Rat Boy, and finds like the remaining moving camp of Sintra, and they are promptly attacked again by Nilfgaarden.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
And she has to haul ass out of there with Rat Boy. Yeah,
Dude, these Nilfgaard guys are bad.
they are very. Oh yeah, they're bad to the bone, baby.
Wow. All right. No, and look, to your point, something you said earlier, you're excited to go home and watch The Witcher.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the only place we need to be so far.
It's true.
A couple episodes in, they just need to have a sight for the next one, and you build from there. I like the start. I think it is a very ambitious vehicle to attempt to capture a Game of Thrones-sized audience. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No.
But they have the beginnings of what could be a very enjoyable show here.
I'm also
with good characters.
One of the things I was thinking about, I almost put on Game of Thrones, the pilot,
Yeah.
just so I could count like how many different names and places we heard in the pilot,
There's a lot,
and then compare it to
it was similar.
The Witcher.
Because that was, I get
They
the
throw
comparison for
so
that
much
reason.
at you.
Because when they start saying names in the first 20 minutes of The Witcher episode 1, you're like, oh my God, what? It's the first time I've felt that overwhelmed. My memory, my poor memory, since Game of Thrones. Since I was like, wait, what? You need to write down these cities and all these names.
Yeah.
And then you won't hear about a lot of this shit for like ever again, or a few weeks, or like whatever. Like,
yeah.
we were propping up shit in that kingdom that I was like, all right, brain. This guy's name, need to have that guy's name. He's fucking dead 5 minutes later. Like, he was the king. He's gone.
Iced. Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing it was brutal too. I'll say this.
It's just hard because you feel like you're supposed to know who these things and people are
Yeah.
and places are, but it's like you just kind of have to like relax and like let the show get there and tell you because it will if it's worth its salt.
The chick who played, I guess her grandmother, the one who throws herself from the window.
It goes full Tommen.
Yeah, that goes absolutely full Tommen, and like, in fact, I'll say Tommen executed his suicide so much better than she did.
Well, he's the goat at jumping out a window.
He hit the window and boop. Yeah, the greatest gif of all time. She lingered for way too long, Barrett. She needs to go back and study the film. You hit the ledge and you just head first straight down.
Right. It's about keeping your body stiff as a board.
And adding comedy to your death. She failed to do so. It was way too dramatic and sad and less funny than I wanted it to be. But that actress did a very good job with a role that, look, imagine you're watching, Cersei die in season 8 or whatever. God, it's so hard not to just throw out Game of Thrones spoilers constantly.
Ross, it's
I know
fine.
it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
It freaks me out for some reason. Like, there's going to be some kid listening who's like, I want to watch Game of Thrones.
Well, then,
But the show is called Oysters,
tough
Clams, and
titties
Cockles.
for that person.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, I can no longer help you. What was my point? What was I talking about? chick?
Sintra. No, not Sintra.
Oh.
Cavanci. C-word. Grandma.
She did a very, very good job with that character. And if you're watching Cersei die at the end of season 8 of Game of Thrones, you've had 8 seasons to build on your emotions with this character, to watch her then die, to feel things. So she had to really play up like the drama and the heartbreak of her scenario, because we're only seeing the last day of the kingdom.
Right.
We go into the episode and she's like, nah, those dudes are never going to come here and fuck with us. Like, it's unlikely. I think we're probably good. Let's talk about some general strat. And then, like, a guy walks up to the table and is like, hey, the Nilfgaard people, they're already here.
They're breaching the gates.
And then she's like, immediately, like, a tear, like, falls down her face. And you're like, oh, well, all these people are going to die. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But I thought she did a great job sort of balancing that, because we know nothing about her, very limited amount, and it's a very dramatic death. And I just thought she pulled it off.
Yeah,
basically.
I thought her performance was pretty good. Laura did not like that
Didn't like Grandma?
character or that performance, but I wasn't.
For some reason, I liked it.
I thought it was good too.
The king, the idiot that yells, "We're losing!" He killed me. I don't know why. I couldn't stand that dude.
Yeah.
It was something about, like, I felt like they cast him in an effort to capture the Jaime Lannister feels in a dark-haired man, and that upset me.
Yeah.
But stoked for The Witcher. Stoked for the Hive, for all of you. I've heard nothing but positive things from the Hive so far.
The Hive is definitely liking it.
Enjoying what they've watched.
They are liking it and they're loving it.
Good. This pleases me. We're now part of it.
I think.
We're part of the Hive now.
You can chime in. Just hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, holler at us. Let us know.
At Barrett Dudley. At WR Bolen.
Witcher Hive. Let us know.
Clams and Cockles.
How you're liking it.
Yeah. Just give us a little tweetsy.
And we'll get back on The Witcher wherever we're at next week. Let's say you want to try to get through like 4.
Yeah. I think we can. I think I can definitely get through.
You're
4.
already through 2. You only
I'm
need
already
2
through
more.
2.
Okay, I can do that.
Mandalorian's over.
I can do that. Let's do it. One more thing I wanted to touch on.
Yet.
Or actually, 2 more things I wanted to touch on quickly before we bounce. First, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
The alternate ending, or not, I don't want to call it an alternate ending. He revealed that there were plans for a potential other ending for the Joker, in which Arthur Fleck was going to be the one who murdered Batman's parents.
Yes.
And during the psychologist meeting, when she asks him, what's so funny, and he says, you wouldn't get it, we were going to get a flashback to him murdering Bruce Wayne's parents, Thomas and whatever Wayne. Now, that would have been a big deal because it would have killed Batman. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other part. They were going to murder Batman. They were going to have him kill Batman's parents, start to walk away, shrug, turn around, and murder the kid.
Yeah.
So we were going to see Bruce Wayne get taken out of Gotham, which would have set up an entirely different universe than the one we obviously know, in which he saves the fucking city over and over. So, Barrett, your take was essentially, when we were texting about this, you were like, what the fuck is the deal with Kevin Smith? Why?
So, okay, I don't like Kevin Smith. He strikes me as a real dumbass shitstick that got incredibly lucky with a few of his early movies.
Okay.
Now, I can already tell, saying it out loud, how stupid that sounds, because you maybe get lucky with one movie, you don't get lucky with several. So, and I liked those movies. I liked Mallrats and Chasing Amy, and Clerks, and like his early films, and even Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Was never a guy in their universe. Didn't do Clerks. Didn't fuck with any of that. I watched Jay and Silent Bob, and I remember being like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm out.
But so now he's a podcast host. He just seems to be like a Hollywood stalwart. He's just around doing things.
Why does he always have a hockey jersey on though?
And I don't like his big dumb look.
Backwards hat, hockey jersey.
Backwards hat, hockey jersey, and look, man. I'm looking through his look.
He lost a lot of
Clerks,
weight. Holy shit.
Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob, and then it goes downhill. He hadn't made a good movie since 2001. Then Jersey Girl, Clerks 2, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, Cop Out, Red State, Tusk.
He was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
He directed it. Yoga Hosers, Holidays, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and that's all. That's what he's done since 2004. So he keeps making these shitty movies for the last 15 years now. and yet seems to get to chime in on everything. And then I was listening to another podcast, and the people were at the Star Wars premiere, and the critics have hated this new Star Wars movie.
Okay.
For reasons that I strongly agree with. But the whole talk around it has basically been about how this third one was made for Star Wars fans, right? They just wanted to give them what they wanted, which is all the characters together, and it's about friendship, and it's Han Solo, and it's Leia, and it's Luke, and everybody matters, and it's just this one. It's always been about this one story, and that's that. And let's get these new characters together with the old characters, even though the new ones don't really matter and don't have their own stories really that much. And we're just gonna bring back the old villain because the new ones didn't work out. Yada yada. And I'm listening to these guys talk about it, and at the end of the movie, Kevin Smith is just like standing up, like clapping like a psycho because of how much he loves this thing.
Okay.
And so that just makes me hate him even more.
What I don't like about him,
because that's him. That's the type of guy that he is.
okay, but what I don't like about him is that I have no idea what to make of him. I can't even hear his voice in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yet he's always connected to everything for some reason.
That's what I'm saying. My biggest thing here is not that he liked the new Star Wars film or that he hasn't directed a good movie in 15 years. It's I don't understand why he gets to chime in on everything. And so I took affront to him revealing this.
It was
alternate
a fucking
ending
headline grab.
Because it didn't. I don't really believe it. I think the ending. I think that would have been cool. I actually would have liked if Arthur Fleck had killed Batman.
It would have felt a little overkill to me, but yeah, no, I'm with you.
But I'm just like, what are you doing, man?
It's a headline grab.
How do you know that? Is it even real?
I'm telling you.
Did somebody did Todd Phillips say that you could say that?
I mean, guess what the most recent announcement from Kevin Smith is? That he's again working on Mallrats 2. So it sounds like it's him trying to get his name in the fucking papers and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which we're giving him by talking about it. But
yeah.
It is a crazy... He alleges that he was like, what, in the writer's room or part of the team or was privy to the fact that they almost went this route.
Okay.
Or whatever. And it is a crazy enough angle and creative and cool enough, and a lot of people wish they had gone this route, that it's worthy of talking about. So, yeah, we just wanted to delve into Kevin Smith momentarily, but more importantly...
Have you heard these... I saw another headline that was like, prevailing theory about Joker is that like it's all in his head, the entire thing.
But what is the point of that theory? Theories like that drive me nuts because it's like, what are you going to do with that information?
Right.
You tell me, okay, so now I have to go back and watch the movie and think about it to myself that if none of it had ever happened, like that part never mattered to me in American Psycho. I don't end that movie and go, did Patrick Bateman actually do any of that shit? It's not the point to me. It's like,
yeah. Well,
he did to me.
I'm with you on Joker. I think that would be kind of
that'd be a little
cop
weird.
Out, right?
I would be incredibly upset if that was somehow a thing they tried to tie in.
Yeah.
But by the way, I watched the movie. I watched Joker finally for my second watch. All right, you and I watched it together in theaters. I was on edibles, very high, very good, but very high. Watched it stone cold sober, much more intense than I remember. I think I had taken some of the edge off, like, because it was dark and I was in there like, damn, this is really crazy. But when the movie ended, I wasn't like, oh my God. Dude, I watched it sober and I was like, oh my God. That was fucking crazy. Like, he just blew Robert De Niro's head off and then and then he gets carried out into the street and like a fucking a mob forms and chaos reigns. It's crazy. But the Robert De Niro thing was for whatever reason, way less shocking to me in theaters than it was at home, and I'd already seen it. But just sober, no weed.
It's pretty intense.
It's too heavy.
I mean, he shoots him point blank, like right in the face.
And he's just, dude, the way he acted. Do we have that guy locked up somewhere? Joaquin? Has he been treated?
He's out on the streets.
You can't let the Joker wander around. Whoever plays him has to go get treated. That's the way it should work. It should be in your contract. You have to get locked up for you literally go to Arkham for a month after you play the Joker so that they can rehabilitate you. You can't just turn these dudes loose. Point is, he's so good in his role that it made me uneasy.
Oh,
I was like, oh, fuck, dude, this guy's fucked for life. Like, there's no way you can come back from playing that part that well without being sick in the head.
My question, my take on that is, I think Heath Ledger was like a pretty normal, chill dude
that leaned into it
that
hard.
went down that road and then
Never came out. Yeah.
like succumbed to it. Joaquin is already
There.
a crazy person.
I agree. That's a very good point.
So it probably wasn't too much of a stretch for him to just kind of like,
That's his realm.
to just kind of be in this character.
He was born in the darkness. Yeah. No, he's fucking crazy. I was blown away by how something about watching that movie the first time through, I was not focusing on like his performance or like I was just there, man. I was just along for the ride. And watching it with a little more critical eye, I was like, not only is it more intense than I remembered, his performance is just next level. It makes your skin crawl. It makes you very uncomfortable. And that's what he was going for.
Indeed.
Yeah. Last thing, we have made fun of cats. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we need to go down the full Cats rabbit hole again.
Sure.
But just very quickly, it is quite humorous that the film has bombed to the degree it has bombed financially. It was getting made fun of. We all knew it was a disaster, total shit show of a cast and crew, and everything about it is just like they were setting themselves up almost to just be mocked.
Yes.
But then when you add the financial element, that like historically it is doing numbers. It has lost over 70, projected to lose over, I think, you've seen anything between 70 and 125 million in terms of numbers that they're projecting to lose. And that is enough money to get a lot of people fired. I need to know who signed off on this project. I wish there was some element of Hollywood that would do that. Like, all right, this movie is the worst thing anybody's ever made. Now let's get the story. Whose idea was this? What the hell happened here?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who put their own money up to make this fucking movie. Because somebody did. Somebody backed this thing. People, companies, big people said, yes, this is a great idea. We need to do this. Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah.
I got to see it in theaters, Barrett.
I'm not going to do that.
I have to. It's not a decision that I have made. It's a thing that I know in my soul that I have to do. I've made too much fun of Cats, even before I knew this movie was going to be a thing, to not go watch it go up in flames on the silver screen. Also, Taylor Swift.
I'm just gonna add a little bit of personal anecdote here
To Cats?
to the whole thing. In all of the Cats film hubbub and mockery, I've heard a lot of questioning about what the musical is in the first place, why it's enjoyable,
Yes.
and just talk about how the play itself, the musical, is a phenomenon because nobody understands why it was ever popular in the first place.
Right.
I just want to say, I saw Cats on Broadway when I was like somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 years old.
Okay.
And loved it.
Damn it. What?
Like, we listened to the Cats soundtrack in the car. The music is really, really good and fun.
Oh my God.
Like, it is an entertaining and enjoyable musical.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna here's what
It is the all-time worst musical of all time.
Here's the caveat. I think you have to like Cats.
You just like Memory. You like one song.
No, I
Memory.
liked all of them.
I like Cats, Barrett. Cats the animals. The play is shit. It's utter. You know what somebody pitched to me the other day? They said, because you just spoke to the problem. Nobody knows why it exists. What's the point?
Dude, it's one
Somebody
of the, it's
pitched
one
me
of the, it's one of the most successful musicals and
of all
longest
time.
running of all time.
Ever.
Yeah.
Somebody pitched me on it being a secret furry community. That it's all furries. You remember the episode of Entourage where Johnny Drama hooks up with a furry? Furries are people who exclusively make love in large stuffed animal costumes,
Right.
is how I understand my version of furries. Google furries if you want. Don't Google furries at your work computer or school computer. Google it at home. And somebody pitched me on that this is all, that's all Cats has ever been. It's for furries and everybody else. The rest of us are just morons watching it going, oh, cool, Memory.
I mean, I liked the music. I liked Rum Tum Tugger.
Now that I'm sitting across from you hearing you say these things, how do I know you're not a furry? I don't.
So I just want to put that out there, that this musical is fun and enjoyable.
And I just want to put out there that it's not. But yes, you and I are on totally different teams with Cats, Barrett.
And then, and the wildest thing to me here in the whole debacle is the decision for the skin suit, fake fur, anthropomorphic animal, cat, human hybrid.
Why?
Look. Why did they go that route?
But why did this become a thing that everyone in Hollywood was suddenly confused about? You saw what happened with the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, the first one they put out?
Yes.
People lost their
I know, and
minds
they spent like $25 million
to redo
or whatever to go back and redo the entire look of Sonic.
Sonic is a different Sonic
Yes.
than the OG we saw.
Yep.
Well, not that was confusing.
That was honestly the precursor to this. As soon as I saw these cat human things running around on the screen, I was like, oh well, this is a disaster.
Yeah, and it's just the one shot of Taylor Swift turned back to the camera with her mouth opened that gets put literally everywhere, and it's the epitome of creepy to me.
They either needed to stick with the look of the play, which is very obviously people in cat costumes, or go like animated.
Yeah, this is weird because Jennifer Hudson is like a cat. You know,
yeah, but also a
CGI.
human.
Yeah, but then she has it's a human face
with cat stuff on it.
Yeah, this was an error in judgment.
It's horrible.
It's fucking scary too, though. Like, oh, this is a headline. Relax, comma. The Cats movie is perfectly enjoyable. Wow.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And well, good. Then when I see it in theaters, I'll be enjoying myself. No, but historically, the money that they're losing is epic. It's like, you know how when an Adam Sandler movie comes out and everybody makes fun of it because it's shit. Right now is a really bad time for me to use that as an example with Uncut Gems, but usually an Adam Sandler movie comes out, we all make fun of it. We're like, what a Grown Ups 2? Are you fucking kidding me? And then he brings in $400 million and laughs all the way to the bank, and we're all like, wait, what? That's not happening here. We're all making fun of it, and literally no one is going to the theater.
Dude, and I mean, another question for you. How do they get, at what point as an actor do you realize
this is a disaster?
This is a total disaster.
Yeah.
And you like look down at your skin-colored catsuit thing that they're then going to CGI fur onto, and you look in the mirror and you see the makeup that's on your face, and you look out at the set and you see that they've accidentally made the scale wrong. Like, you're way too small compared to the chair. Like, you should be much bigger compared to the chair. You're not a mouse living with giants.
No.
You're just a cat in a regular human room.
Sure.
And you see all this, and then you look over there, and there's James Corden in a fat suit, just being a total dumbass. And you're like, I've made
cat suit.
I've made a huge tiny mistake.
And then you get the fuck out. I've always wondered this. It has to be something about your contract that once you're in, you literally cannot. Because think about how many movies, like on day 8, an actor would be like, holy shit, this is god-awful. I also think it must be really, really, really hard to tell. Because there's so much going on.
I think that's probably right,
and you're not in every scene, and you're just trying to do your job and your part.
Yeah.
And then you pray. And that's why so many actors and actresses don't watch their own shit.
Yeah.
Ever.
Also, we can look here at the cast and the director and the money that they are losing, and we know that the payday for all of these people was probably very lucrative.
Very high, indeed.
And they didn't want to give up their doll hairs, which is also understandable. By the way, the director of this, Tom Hooper, directed The Danish Girl, Les Miserables, The King's Speech, the HBO miniseries John Adams.
Wow.
Yeah, like this is
Those are 4 very good things you just named.
This is a top-notch director.
Forgive yourself, guy. This isn't on you. Nobody could have known this was going to happen. Everybody could have known, but
you know,
he swung for the dude. He went, I can do this shit. He looked at his own resume like you just did, and he was like, "Fuck that! I got cats, easy." Last thing. There's a movie that was it was explained to me on the stream the other night. It's called The Fanatic. It is a 2019 John Travolta movie that is allegedly one of the worst movies ever made, an American psychological thriller directed and co-written by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. And as this was explained to me, it may be the worst movie of all time. and we're not going to get into it. We're just going to leave it at that. If you want to go look into the Fanatic, do it. It literally earned $3,153 on opening day, making it. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me finish this quote. It earned $3,153 from 52 theaters in the U.S. on its opening day. Quote, making it a U.S. box office failure. Yeah.
It's gonna do numbers in Europe though. That's what they're saying.
Is it really?
This is no.
No, it is not.
So Travolta went Gotti, which is like one of the lowest rated movies of all time.
Yes.
And then right into the Fanatic, where he plays a character. Although also I should tell you this: his character's name in the Fanatic is Moose.
Oh, good, Moose.
It also co-stars Devon Sawa.
Oh, here's part of the reason this film is apparently such a disaster. It's also high-key, allegedly offensive.
Okay.
He plays a man who has autism, Moose. And Moose is a huge fan of an action film an action film actor called Hunter Dunbar, and I think he becomes like I don't know where it goes from there, but that alone, it's Travolta. His name is Moose. He has autism, and it made $3,000 on opening day, and it was in 52 theaters. Doesn't this feel like another? I'm like, this is like Cats. Like, I feel like I have to watch this.
Oh wow. I have a screen grab pulled up here, and it's Devon Sawa, the action hero. He's screaming at John Travolta, who you can tell is attempting to play an autistic person.
Oh, not good. Not good.
And that doesn't, no. Doesn't.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at that screen grab right now.
It doesn't check out. I'll tell you that
Just
much.
the grab alone, I can tell you this is not going to be good. This is going to be a very big problem. And I have to go. This has to be streaming somewhere. I need to. What? Who is in charge of getting these people signed up for these things?
Dude, when are they going to release The Hunt? Let's get that movie out on streaming services. I want to watch that.
Why was it pulled? There was a shooting?
Because, yeah. Then it's about hunting people.
Oh, we surely we're between enough. It's been like 8 days since we had a shooting. We could get that movie off right now, couldn't we?
There's got to be some bootleg copies out there, right?
2020? I'm trying to see that. That was the one with the island?
Yeah.
Where they go hunt the people?
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me that we can't watch. People are getting murdered on screen all of the time. Every movie, constantly.
They got to release that.
I don't get that.
Right?
Anyway, for anybody who watches The Fanatic, I'm sorry. It was told to me. I feel like it's The Ring. I have to tell it to you in order to try to survive. That will do it for today's episode of OCC. Huge thanks to our sponsors for supporting the show. Obviously, support our sponsors to support us. Want more OCC? One place to get it. Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. We'll drop our January schedule for y'all in the coming days. Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. We're on Instagram at Oysters, Clams, Cockles. On Twitter at Clams and Cockles. Facebook.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN on all those platforms. And listen to the Ross Bolen podcast, also presented by Bolen Media, wherever OCC is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Barrett, where can we follow you and hear more of your voice?
At Barrett Dudley on Instagram and Twitter. Follow at Club Cool Pod on Instagram as well. And you can listen to that podcast wherever you're listening to this one. Just search for Club Cool. We meet at the intersection of style and pop culture.
Right on. Looking forward to talking more Witcher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next week, getting into some other stuff as well. It's going to be a fun 2020, Barrett.
Stand up Witcher Hive. Shouts to all the parasites out there.
The furries.
Yeah.
Respect Mr. Park. Until next time. Until your next helping. Adios, muchachos.